Hello and thank you for joining me for another iTWire video with top Australian IT executives. Today I have with me Melissa Bridson. She is the CEO of SchoolStream. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Alex.
So probably the ideal place to start is to ask you, what is SchoolStream and how did you get the idea to create it?
Okay, well, SchoolStream is a communication app, and it replaces a lot of the traditional methods of communication between the school and parents, things like printed notes, emails or SMS messages. It just sits nicely in your phone. It's very easy to use. All the categories are very simple, so you can easily look for the newsletter. You can be alerted to any quick changes to any school events. You can also fill out things like absentee notes straight from the app and order canteen from the app as well.
So it's like a one-stop school parental advisory shop.
Well, yes, sort of.
Yeah.
It is definitely like an ecosystem. We've developed the product because there are a lot of different products in education.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted everything to be housed in the one place. Unfortunately, it becomes difficult to navigate information from schools. There's so many different fractured channels.
Mm-hmm.
And often we don't know where to look or we can't remember where to look.
And then, kids, for example, are supposed to bring newsletters home or they get sent, but then they get lost or they get mushed at the bottom of a bag with a banana or there's a breakdown in communication, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, go on.
Yeah, so we set about creating a solution for those problems. I'm a parent as well, so I knew firsthand some of the difficulties associated around effective communication between a school and myself and many other parents. And I'll paint a picture if you like.
Sure.
It's Monday morning, you're running late. No, actually you're running really late. And you're trying to get your child out of the house, into the car. You've got an important meeting for work. You get to the school. On the way to school, you remember you haven't got the right money for a lunch order because you didn't have time to make lunch. So you've got the $50 note, which you have to hand over to the child and trust that they'll get something healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, you arrive at the school and the school bus is leaving and you have missed the school excursion. Child's crying. You've got a couple of minutes to reorganise your entire day. It really can have a big impact on everyone's lives, and certainly we wanted to make that simpler for everyone. I manage up to 15 people a day at work, and certainly communication is a key part. In schools, they've got, the average school in Australia has 500 students, and you mix the parent community into that, and they're trying to communicate to over 1,500 people without dated sort of systems. It's very hard for them to be efficient.
Sure, and originally schools must have been trying to use email or trying to do shared calendar events, and I guess those things must have originally delivered some benefit, but then with today's information overload, it must have become unmanageable.
Yeah, the problem there is, there's a couple of problems with delivering information that way. And firstly, emails or text messages are reliant on up-to-date information. Now, parents are changing their phone plans and their email addresses regularly. We're busy, and if we forget to update the school with that information, we miss out on that information. The other side to all of that is what we refer to as passive communication. Mm-hmm. That is, we need people to actively seek it out. And we know everyone's busy and often they forget. So with push notifications, Alex, you've got a smartphone, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
When it pings, you pay attention to it.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, these days, you can get the notification straight to your wrist. And so it vibrates on your wrist, and it's even harder to miss if you choose to be notified by various apps. Yeah. In fact, have you made any linkages with smartwatches as yet, or is that on a to-do list?
We definitely have some teachers actually who have it on their watch at this stage, so that's exciting too. It becomes a great reference point for them because often they've got to remember things in the class about what's coming up, and they can just simply refer to the app and get that information.
So what infrastructure does the school need to put into place to have the SchoolStream app going? Do they have to load something on a server? Is it all cloud-based? What's the deal there?
Yeah, it's a browser-based product. So basically all they need is access to the internet, and that could be obviously from their laptop, their iPad, their smartphone, or computer in the office there. Once they log in, they're able to push out communications very quickly.
And, does the school need to inform the parents that they now have SchoolStream running and ask them to download the app and then log in? What does the parent have to do to get switched on?
Yeah, so we actually really support schools in the onboarding process because it's a key part. Obviously, if parents don't know there's an app, they're not going to download it.
Sure.
So we're very proactive in that process. And then for parents, it's free. They just simply go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store to download the app for free, select their school. Not only that, when they download the app, they're actually able to select or opt in to which information they choose to receive. One of the other problems with, the school newsletter, which has been around forever, is it's 6 pages of information.
Yep.
And, if you're busy, you don't have time to sit there and read through 6 pages to find that piece of information you want. Often a lot of that information is not relative uniquely to your child. So the app lets you select which categories of information you want to receive.
And we're actually, if we look in the background behind you, we're seeing it's a bit fuzzy because we're talking over video conferencing, but we've got the app interface there. What are some of the categories there that are listed?
So we've obviously got we've got alerts, which is very useful if the school bus is running late or there's some quick change, which happens in schools often. They're very dynamic places. We also have Canteen, where parents can actually order directly from the app if their school uses something like Flexi Schools. We have events. So when there's a school event, we can add a reminder, and we can also share it with Dad, who may not have the app on the phone, to give him a reminder, or maybe there's some grandparents that want to come to some school event. We can share that with them as well. We have the digital forms. That's the absentee form. That's a very handy one. You actually can sign straight from the app.
Does that stop
it to the school?
Does that stop the kids from trying to create a fake absentee note and then trying to forge their parents' signature?
There's always those children that are going to be that, and schools are usually aware of those characters.
Sure.
But there's added layers of security with the app. Obviously, most parents have a password on their device, and most parents don't let their children have it.
Yep.
And secondly, from there, schools are able to password protect those forms if they want. Sure. In addition.
And what are some of the other entries there on the back?
So we've also got newsletters. So the school newsletter is easily read straight from the device. And in there we've also got a sports category. But that's something else that's probably pretty important about SchoolStream is it's a really dynamic product. We know every school's unique. No school needs to communicate exactly the same information. So schools are able to create their own categories in there and totally customise the product to suit their needs. And just to give you an idea, at the moment, our app's being used down at the APA conference in Hobart with over 600 principals. And it's the second year running they've chosen our app because it is so dynamic, and obviously a lot of the principals already have the app on their device. And SchoolStream supports multiple profiles, so you can have a school profile and a conference profile running at the same time.
Clearly that might give you ideas to expand the functionality of the software.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're always thinking we've got so many ideas, it's outrageous, actually.
Well, that's good to hear. And, also you could have notifications of things like parent-teacher nights, or notifying parents that, hey, the kids are going to come back with their report cards today, so maybe you want to ask them where it is if they haven't voluntarily given it to you, and all sorts of stuff like that.
We all know that one.
Yeah.
I've definitely hit a few of my reports deep down in my bag.
So how does SchoolStream differ to other apps on the market? You've already mentioned its flexibility, but what are some of its other key differentiators?
I think one of the key things is we have one app for all schools, and that's really important because with things like the iOS update, we know one's coming out today, I believe.
Yeah.
It's important that the app is still going to function on those new operating systems. And with the one app model, obviously we're able to make sure every school is updated equally and at the same time. And it also allows us to roll out new features regularly and we are always further developing the product. Earlier this year, we released the language translation.
Mm-hmm.
So Australia, obviously being very multicultural, it now translates in up to 80 languages. So for those parents whose first language isn't English at home, they can comfortably read school communications.
Sure, very important for them to be able to do that. Yeah, and whereabouts is SchoolStream being used? Is it in every state? Is it being used overseas?
Yeah, it's in every state in Australia right now, and it's as far as the US and Greece.
And how did they find out about it in Europe and America?
Just straight through the internet. So we actually get quite a lot of inbound inquiry from overseas quite regularly.
Must be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's always exciting. There's never a dull day in our office.
And any plans for a Windows Phone version, or not yet?
We have a HTML5 version for the Windows Phone.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, it's quite a small market share. And obviously, as that grows, we'll look to developing an app uniquely for that platform.
So what are some of the ways you think you'll expand SchoolStream into the future without giving any secrets away to your competitors?
Well, at the moment, the feedback's been fantastic. And just to give you an indication, this year we've had a 100% renewal rate from schools. So that tells us that we've got it right.
Mm.
But we've got some great ideas of how much further we can take this product. And there's some exciting features we'll be rolling out next year. And, of course, every school that's currently using SchoolStream and every parent gets those updates for free.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm sure they'll be very happy about that. And so how long has it been going? Is it a year, a couple of years, or is it really new?
It's actually almost a 3-year anniversary since I first had the idea,
mm-hmm.
which was born out of what I thought was a 21st century necessity. And we've been we spent a year developing the product. We wanted to make sure it was exactly right. We knew that it was important, that it was simple for schools and for parents. They're all busy people, and if we make something complicated, it's of no real value to them. And so I just forgot the question.
Oh, yeah, well, no, I mean, just basically, I've forgotten the question too. But you're telling us about just then the development process. I mean, did you have to get external developers in? How complicated was that? I mean, it would be interesting for startups to know how they can emulate your success. Hopefully not with the same sort of concept, though, but with something else.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we did spend a year developing it, and we worked very closely with the Catholic Schools Office in Lismore, who funded the first pilot. And we also worked very closely, obviously, with principals and staff at schools and parents to make sure that we had both sides covered and all their needs met. And then from there, we took it. We did a soft launch probably almost 2 years ago now,
mm-hmm.
but it's really been about the last 18 months that SchoolStream has been available for schools to purchase and use in their schools. And
did you have to hire an external programming company, or did you put programmers on board, or what was the deal with that?
I was very fortunate. My business partner and the co-founder of SchoolStream is one of those technical geniuses.
Yep.
When all the other kids are out playing soccer, he was probably trying to hack into NASA or something like that. But we have a long history of working together. And when I first had the idea and I rang him up, he's a very matter-of-fact kind of character. And it was probably about a 2-second pause when I asked him to take this journey with me, quit his highly paid job. And he answered yes. And he does an amazing job. And I've yet to meet a developer that really works at the level he does. Sure.
Well, I mean, having 100% re-sign up rate speaks for itself.
Yeah, I definitely think so, and it feels great for us to have developed a product that really is adding value.
Absolutely. So, look, towards the end of the interview, I always like to ask if you can share a little bit about yourself in terms of, the best piece of advice that you ever received to help you get you where you are today.
I think there's quite a few different pieces of advice that have been delivered to me over the years, but probably one of my favourites is the best way to predict the future is to create it.
That's a good one. I like that one. I mean, there's a saying that says the future has already been invented. It just hasn't been widely distributed yet. Which would have been the case with your software. Once you had developed it, then you had to get it into the hands of people, which you've done. Anything else that comes to mind? Seeing as you had a few there.
Sorry.
Seeing as you had a few bits of advice in mind.
Well, the other one that's a very important one is if you get it right the first time, you've done something wrong. So we know with technology, it's a dynamic thing and it's changing. Even when you think you hit a sweet spot and you've got it just right, something's around the corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're continually working to make sure that we'll always meet those requirements.
Sure. So, any final messages for iTWire viewers and readers, and for current and future users, including schools and parents and students?
Yeah, I think it's really important to spend some time taking a look at the different technology out there as far as communication goes. It's really important to do your research too and pick a product that is going to support your school well into the future. And if anyone really would like to take a close look at SchoolStream, they can go to our website, get in touch with us either via email or they can give us a quick call, and we'll organise a demonstration. It only takes about 10 minutes and we can show it how it can really benefit your school and how simple it is to use.
Great. Well, congratulations on creating a great piece of software that is clearly changing students and teachers and schools and the experience for parents, and best of luck for the future.
Thanks, Alex, and thanks for your time today.
You're most welcome. Good luck. See ya.
See ya.